paedophile and child murderer, was blackmailed into taking the UK into the EEC back in 1972-73 on unbelievably unfavourable terms. That's another way this whole cartel operates. It's why you scratch your head and you wonder why certain politicians who should know better argue in favour of the European Union. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them will be compromised. Compromised how? Well, financially compromised maybe. Maybe compromised because of their extracurricular activities maybe. Some of them, not all of them, will be compromised. It's worse in Ireland. I'm a proud Irishman. I'm an Irish Republican. I believe in a united Ireland. You know now, I couldn't give a shit now if the north of Ireland is ever under Irish control. I couldn't give a shit, to be honest. Why? Because my country is the ultimate bitch for the European Union. A vassal state. Successive criminal governments in my country took these loans from the cartel, loaded the country with debt, created fake bubbles like the Celtic Tiger, and now handed the country and all the country state assets to the EU and its cronies. That's what we've done. Ireland is a joke. Oh, and by the way, the Irish Finance Minister can't draft an annual budget for the country without the European Union approving it, right? Right? Sovereign nation? Are you shitting me, really? Bit heated there, Richie, the language. Yeah, a little bit heated, a little bit of language, but every single thing I have said is irrefutable. This is what this cartel is there to do. It is a march towards a one-world government where sovereignty will be a thing of the past. That's what it is. The European Union, as I said, it's a blueprint for the rest of the world, for these unions around the world. Ultimately, knock hundreds and hundreds of countries into 5 unions, then 3, and then one world government. How will they sell that? How will they sell that? How have they sold it? How will they sell it? Well, they'll sell it through the necessity of uniformity. What does that mean, Richie? Stop talking like an arsehole. Well, the necessity of uniformity. Uniformity on what? Uniformity on policy. Or uniformity of policy. What policies? Climate change. Climate change. International terrorism. Cyber security. And so on, so on, so on. Necessary uniformity. We need to be together on all these things. What things? Terrorism, climate change, extinction, cybersecurity. That's how they'll sell it to you. Think I'm bullshitting? Here's Herman Van Rompuy. Do you remember him? What a beauty he was. Herman Van Rompuy was the first beneficiary of the ratification of the Lisbon Treaty. Say that in English, Richie. Well, he was the first president of the European Council. Here is Herman Van Rompuy speaking in November 2009. Have I lost you? Are you still with me? It gets better. Herman Van Rompuy, first president of the European Council, speaking in November 2009.
We're living through exceptionally difficult times. The financial crisis and its dramatic impact on employment and budgets, the climate crisis which threatens our very survival. A period of anxiety, uncertainty and lack of confidence. Yet these problems can be overcome by a joint effort in and between our countries. 2009 is also the first year of global governance with the establishment of the G20 in the middle of the financial crisis. The climate conference in Copenhagen is another step towards the global management of our planet.
The global management of our planet, did you hear that?
The climate conference in Copenhagen is another step towards the global management of our planet.
Yeah. That was back in 2009. Now, they already practice a sort of one-world government with the United States at the head of it, or appearing to be at the head of it. Don't start shouting at your radio, your phone, or your computer. Calm down. I said the US appears to be at the head of it. They practice a one-world government with the US seemingly in charge of it. How do they do that? Well, they sanction countries, economically. Countries that won't play ball. That's one way of world government, but it's not enough for them. You won't hear any of this in the media, because the same financial elites own the media, as they do. And you're not going to like this either, dear listener, but I couldn't care less. They own the independent media too, or 99.98% of it. They do. How do they do that? Well, they create identity groups. They create identity groups out of which spawn seemingly independent media organisations. On the alt-right, on the far left, MAGA supporters and all that crap, Corbynistas and all that garbage. When have you ever heard Steve Bannon, Breitbart, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, the Muppet Tommy Robinson talk about any of what I have just told you? Never. Never. Even if some of these people seem to be or claim to be in favour of the UK leaving the European Union, they'll never tell you what I told you. Never. They will tell you, and it's the same, by the way, for Jeremy Corbyn and the goon Seamus Milne that used to write for The Guardian, and their puppets in the left-wing media, Owen Jones and the like. They'll all tell you the same thing at the end. What will Steve Bannon, Breitbart, Lawrence Southern, Stephen Yaxley dickhead, what will they tell you? What will they also tell you, along with Corbyn and Seamus Milne and Owen Jones? Do you know what they'll all tell you? Do you know what they'll all tell you at the very end of it? They will tell you to support a politician. They will endorse a politician or a political party. And while you're screaming at one another on Twitter, arguing over politicians, all controlled by the same hidden hand, by the way, who doesn't care who you vote for, while you're doing that, the agenda rolls on. And you're clueless. I don't mean you, dear listener. Pejoratively. Clueless! 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 Trump is the man! MAGA is real and all that crap. No, it isn't. Clueless. That's what they do. That's how they control the so-called independent media. And the alt-right screams about being banned and shadow banned and all that bollocks. I can't see it, to be honest. I read the Financial Times today, the Washington Post, and I see that Tommy Robinson is on his way to Washington to meet with Republican lawmakers. Wow, a fucking idiot who can't tie his shoelaces, who's got one gear and one gear only, who's completely inarticulate when he strays away from the script that he has learned off by heart. And yet he's meeting Republicans in DC. I'm being banned, I'm being attacked. No, you're not, you're being promoted. Because you serve the system. You serve the system as much as Bill Clinton ever served it. As Barack Obama ever served it. Because you promote the left-right paradigm, you promote politics, you promote elections, and you promote the establishment. So they don't care. That's how it works. Said this 1,000 times, but I've never been more passionate about it than today. Here's a bit of audio from March 2017. I've played this a dozen times, but I'm going to play it again. I've not played it for a while. This is Richard Haas, president of the Council on Foreign Relations, which is a Rockefeller Foundation created think tank which is massively influential. I mentioned the Round Table Secret Society earlier on. The Council on Foreign Relations is part of the secret society called the Round Table. Bilderberg, Club of Rome, the United Nations, Trilateral Commission, and the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and as I said, the Council on Foreign Relations. The members of these organisations, by the way, the members of all of these 6 organisations include very influential people in politics, in business, in banking, in the military, in the media, and in education. Right? Right. Council on Foreign Relations, very important. Richard Haas has headed up that group since 2003. Spoke to Goldman Sachs last year at an event organised by Goldman Sachs. And he talked about New World Order 2.0. Remember this?
We need to think about order very differently in the 21st century. And for the last few hundred